So the new trailer for Resident Evil 4 Remilked just came out, and originally I wasn't going to make this video since I've already expressed my concerns with Capcom releasing this game so soon right after the release of RE3 Remake and RE8. But there are a lot of viewers that still want to hear my opinions regarding the new trailer, so I might as well refresh your minds, I guess. And I assume not everyone saw the video I made about Capcom remaking RE4 back when it was first announced. And that announcement came out as soon as they released Resident Evil 3 Remake, so that was a big problem right away. Why? Because that game was in no ways a full game experience. It could not compare to the original. They removed far too many features. They removed too many enemies, locations, and they never even bothered to release any DLC to make up for the lack of features for that game. And if that's the treatment they were willing to give RE3, then what the hell do you expect they'll do for Resident Evil 4? I don't want to sound negative all the time, but I can't lie to you guys. I'm just trying to open your eyes and remind you that Capcom is not the same company they used to be. Their sole reason for releasing this RE4 remake is only because the original sold the most copies and made them a shit ton of money. Why do you think they re-released it for the PS2 when it was meant to be a GameCube exclusive? Why do you think they re-released it for the 360, the PS3, the Wii, cell phones even? Why do you think they re-released it as a remaster for the next consoles? They're milking this shit dry. Now, I'm not trying to tell you guys not to buy the game. I'm sure it's going to be a fun experience because it's going to have the same gameplay style as the RE2 and 3 remakes, which were a lot of fun. But I'm giving you guys a heads up of what not to expect. So don't get too hyped because everything you experienced from the original RE4 will in no way be present in this game. No way. If you're lucky, they might give you 30% of what you saw and experienced in the original. Don't forget, this is modern day Capcom we're talking about. They half-ass everything. Think about it. The original Resident Evil 3 was considered to be the shortest of the trilogy. We're talking about the original, not the remake. Till today, there are people that say that it was a short game because you only got to play as one character. Well, you select the one character story mode, one scenario only, no A and B scenarios. And both RE1 and 2 let us play as two characters, two perspectives for the entire story mode, ergo RE3 is, quote, the shortest of the three. Now, let's talk about the RE3 remake. Remember everything that was included with the original? Well, this time they decided to remove weapons such as the custom shotgun, the freezing rounds for the grenade launcher, the live selections giving you different scenarios, which also gave us plenty of replay value seeing that we could choose different options including different pets. There were missing items. Heck, we didn't even get the blue herbs. So many puzzles were removed and they only gave us one here, which anyone with the lowest IQ could easily solve if we gave him half a minute. No hex crank or wrench since we didn't get to visit the gas station. Yeah, no gas station visit here. No fire hooks as we also didn't get to visit the diner where we can meet Carlos and have an encounter with the Nemesis with a live selection, and you could even team up with Carlos to fight the Nemesis. No fuse, no machine oil or oil additive to mix, no bezel key, Chronos chain, Book of Wisdom, no graveyard key, well, no graveyard to visit. There are still way more key items I haven't mentioned. We don't get to revisit locations like the warehouse to check up on Dario Russo, no enhanced handgun bullets, no enhanced shotgun shells, no large variety of ammunition parts to mix. They removed popular enemies such as the zombie crows, giant spiders, something I was really looking forward to with these new realistic graphics. It would have scared the shit out of everyone, giving us that scare factor. They removed the new enemies such as the brain suckers, the sliding worms, the small spiders that came with the giant ones. They included the drain demos, but only small ones, no adult types. Why? I don't know. Laziness. They cut so many corners, the game's now a fucking sphere. Not enough city streets to explore, no Raccoon City outskirts, no Dead Factory, no Raccoon City Park, no clock tower of all iconic places. And we're still not done, no Gravedigger. They couldn't be bothered to give us the mother of all features, Operation Mad Jackal, aka the Mercenaries mode. One of the greatest unlockables in Resident Evil history. And speaking of unlockables, no variety of alternate costumes for Jill. And no unlocked character epilogues. Remember those? That's over 70% of what the original had. Do you see everything that was not included with the remake of the game that was so-called shortest of the trilogy? And fans are still hyped for Resident Evil 4 Remilked? What makes you think that they're going to add everything that was in the original, or, God forbid, try to top it off, if they couldn't even be bothered to deliver with the RE3 remake? How could you possibly expect this new remake to compete with the original RE4 when the original has so much extra content outside of the story mode? The story itself was fucking huge! You visit so many locations in the original RE4, you fight so many different enemies and bosses. There are tons of weapons and items to unlock. Even though RE4 is an action-adventure game where you'll never get stuck on a single puzzle, it still takes me countless hours just to speedrun the damn game. There's no possible way that modern-day Capcom could possibly compare with the original RE4. It's not gonna happen. You have to be realistic here. They're not gonna include every single location. Lots of areas will go unexplored. Heck, you might only see the Sadler Castle from a distance, like we were only able to see the clock tower from a distance. They have to include the castle, right? But what if they don't? Nah, I think they will. You know why? Because they love reusing assets from previous games that were made with the new RE engine. So if Resident Evil 8 included a castle, they'll just reuse that castle and tweak a few bits and pieces here and there and call it the Sadler Castle. Can you guess which enemies and bosses won't be in the game? Think about it. With missing locations comes missing enemies and bosses. That's a sure thing to happen with this remake. But it doesn't even end there. What was one of the charms that the original RE4 had? Cheesy dialogue. Well, look at the recent re-release of Resident Evil 4, the VR version. They censored it. They removed dialogue that sounded offensive to the modern day viewers. So now Leon does not flirt with Hunnigan, Louis does not compliment Ashley's physique, and by the looks of the remake, Ashley and Ada will not be wearing clothes that show some leg. So censorship will also be implemented with the remake. So I ask again, how is anyone still hyped for this remake? They're removing everything that made Resident Evil 4 a great game, a masterpiece. I may love the gameplay from the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, but I can't possibly support what this company has done to our favorite franchise. I haven't even talked about how they continue to ignore all the fan feedback, like how they put out a survey so we can let them know what we think about the RE3 remake, and with all the feedback we gave them, they did nothing. And because of how money hungry they are, they completely skipped out on remaking the spin-offs like the Outbreak series, the Survivor series, and even Code Veronica, just so they can remilk the game that made them the most money when it first released. So that's it. That's all I gotta say. Buy the game if you want, but don't have that shocked Pikachu face when you realize that 70% of what was in the original did not make it into this game. I'm sure both of Ada's scenarios won't even be included, and their excuse will be that Ada will take a portion of Leon's campaign. Wanna know what else I think won't be included? Mercenary mode. If we didn't get it for RE3, there's a chance we won't be getting it for this game either. And if we do, I guarantee you that Wesker will not be in it. Why? Because they couldn't be bothered to give us Wesker for Resistance, and he's in the freaking front cover of the game. Since they're using the new RE engine, they need to find a model and actor to portray a particular character. And they either couldn't find one, or they didn't want to pay someone to portray Wesker for a sidelined RE game. And since Wesker only appears in Ada's scenarios and Mercenary mode, then technically he's not important enough to include to Capcom. So they're gonna want to shun his ass yet again. They don't want to take the effort to find a model or actor to use his likeness for the face model of Wesker. Man, I hate being the guy that gives you all the reality check, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you like others would just to be in good standards with all types of RE fans, since that equals more viewership traffic. But at least you can expect the truth from me. That's something, right? And if I happen to be wrong, trust me, I'll admit it. The real shame comes from being phony and lying to your audience. But hey, to each their own, right? Buy the game if you want. I'm sure you'll enjoy those 2 hours of a story mode. But just know that money talks, and that's the only language that Capcom understands these days. So if you really want to see your favorite RE games come back, then you might not want to repeat those RE4 sales yet again. That's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to give this video a chance to grow. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for their impeccable generosity. Your support means a lot to me, and you are part of the reason why I try to make the best content that I can. And if you like this content, check out the rest of my channel. You'll find more entertainment from separate franchises I like to cover, such as Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z, Celebrity Deathmatch, Men in Black, The Mask, Batman comics, The Terminator, TMNT, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil, and more. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out my exclusive videos such as the Gantz content. And if you'd like to show your support, go to my Patreon and support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.